Well, here's what we have going on, folks. We do have the executive director of the Iowa State Fair Blue Ribbon Foundation joining us right now. Peter County is here. You've seen him on the news a bunch of times in the past week or so, but we're here to talk about something that I'm sure everybody has heard of. We're talking about the CornDog.
We don't need a tunnel of blood. We have the old mill, right? The old mill. So that's what we have at the State Fair. But all this stuff needs support.
Absolutely. The CornDog Checkoff is a way for Iowans to be able to donate to the Iowa State Fair through the Blue Ribbon Foundation on their income tax form, their 1040.
And people are getting those organized right now. And some of the documents are coming in. And in case you're wondering where you can locate it, this is where you find it on your state form.
Yep, line 57B. It's highlighted there. It says State Fair. We raised about $62,000 off this last year for improvements on the fairgrounds, which all fairgoers get to enjoy every year. And we've been doing this for 23 years. We've almost raised $2 million off of this from Iowans. You get to do it anonymously, and you get it every year. You can give as little as $1 or as much as you choose to. It either gets added, taken away from what you're owed, or you can give more to pay off
whatever the difference is.
Yep.
So right now we're showing images of various buildings I'm sure you're familiar with if you head to the Iowa State Fair, but these are examples of where your money is going, correct?
Absolutely. The agriculture building, the Riley stage, Jackie gets to see there every day during the fair. And we get to see all these things. There's the Pulver Outdoor Arena. These are all things that have been renovated. The Allwell Family Food Center, home of the largest food competition every year at the Iowa State Fair in there. So these are all examples of what the Blue Ribbon Foundation and the Iowa State Fair have collaborated on in terms of restoring and renovating and building anew at the Iowa State Fair.
Because let's be honest, the Iowa State Fair, one of the greatest things we have here in central Iowa, but it takes some abuse. When you have that many people coming through to enjoy all the exhibits, the buildings, you have to make sure to keep that up to date and maintained.
It does. We had over 1,115,000 people last year at the Iowa State Fair, which was a record. We always want to grow on that, and it does take some abuse. We were just talking before about how it gets broken down after the fair every year, and it takes a while for the grass to grow back. It takes us a while to get everything back in working order. So we like to build it right. It's not cheap. We're raising money every year to do that and do it the right way.
And this really does make a difference.
Absolutely. You know, every bit counts, and we have large donations, but we also have small donations. We want Iowans to feel that it's easy, and any way they want to be able to support the fair, they can do it, and this is a great way for them to do it.
And you're continuing to upgrade as well, as you were saying. It's one thing to maintain those beautiful buildings, but there's new things always happening at the fair.
Yep. You know, the first phase of Ruan Plaza was done last year, which was just to the east of the Varied Industries building, and we're going to do a new phase of that, which will be the east-west portion of that behind the Varied Industries building this year. And then we're also going to finish renovating the Youth Inn, which is where all the 4-H and FFA ushers stay during the fair.
Oh, okay.
So that's a really great improvement.
Back over by the barns.
Back over by the barns, kind of behind to the east of the barns, where and there'll be air conditioning. There's never been air conditioning in there. All these kids stay every year.
See, that's hard to believe. I heard that too.
We've gotten great reviews. I've gotten great reviews from people being able to do that. They've never had air conditioning in there, and we're going to redo the windows. There's going to be new parking lot on there. So it's really going to be something very good for all fairgoers.
And how long of a project will that be?
This is phase 3. So this has been the 3rd year that we've renovated it.
Can we get you to change hats for a second? We've talked a bit on this show about the bill you've introduced regarding medical marijuana, which is CBC, not the stuff people get high off of. And can you tell us a bit about that? Yeah,
and I'll go even one step further. It's the oil derived from the plant, so it's cannabis oil, that we are trying to get a bill passed that would allow it to be used for a kind of a certain number of ailments. We passed a law 2 years ago in the legislature that allowed cannabis oil to be possessed legally in Iowa. The problem is it can't be grown, and there's also a federal law that doesn't allow it across state lines.
So how are you supposed to get it?
That's a problem.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to fix, so that Iowans who have these, or Iowans who have ailments, epilepsy being one, this has been, it helps have fewer seizures for people with epilepsy, number one. That's kind of been a big part of it. You know, we were talking about it before, about some of the examples that it's been able to do. A girl in my district, Margaret Gear, Steve and Sally Gear's daughter, they started taking this stuff about 6 months ago. She's lost 30 pounds. She turns 26 years old on Monday. She's never uttered a sentence until she started taking this. And she's never slept through the night in 25 years until she started taking this. So this is something that I feel strongly about, and we got a ways to go. We need a lot of education, a lot of advocacy for legislators to get comfortable with it. You know, there's a negative connotation with the word marijuana. This is not smoking marijuana.
This comes out of complete and utter ignorance to oppose this. This is a completely different plant. It looks like the same marijuana.
Yeah.
It's a completely different substance being produced by the different plant. I don't understand how, from a moral perspective, you can keep drugs out of somebody's hands, somebody who could benefit from the drug.
Yeah, well, the foundation was laid 2 years ago. It was a good thing that that got passed, and nothing goes quickly at the legislature, and nothing is easy at the legislature. I'm hopeful that we're able to get this done this year. It would be a good step forward. I believe we were elected to help Iowans. This will help Iowans.
There you go. So let's keep an eye on that as well. But we're talking about the CornDog Checkoff again.
Yeah.
If you're filling out your tax forms, it is 57B, line 57B. More information about this, 800-450-3732. There is the form. There's where it's located. It's the second item over from the left on line 57, where you can make a donation and help out the Iowa State
Peter,
Fair.
do you know the countdown? How many days until Iowa State Fair?
We just hit the halfway point.
Really?
So we're under 6 months to the Iowa State Fair. Yeah. August 11th through the 21st.
There you go.
Thank you for being here.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it, man.
so
Thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you.